Heyo!
Hi.
So excited. Molly is joining today. I was making her help me with the intro so that everyone doesn't get tired of seeing my face every day.
Yeah, welcome to day 3.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So this is day 3 of our special holiday edition of the Cackle. Molly, have you seen any really cool presents that you're
Man,
excited about?
I just feel like every day I'm getting more and more excited about the companies that I'm like, I wish that we could do this for all like over 100 of them, but obviously nobody has time for that. So I'm just super excited. It just seems like every day you're like, I've read a little bit about most of the companies just from doing the guide, but every day I'm like learning a little bit more. It was like yesterday with the olive seed, I had no idea they had so many more products than just like lotions. I feel like I've already bought those sauces from Yumi To Me for a
Oh
couple
yeah,
people.
that's
That
what
was a
we
good
need.
one.
Not yummy tummy, like we were saying. And then like Joey, my husband, was like, "Yeah, actually, that would have been not a good name." So like, I don't know why you guys thought that. I'm like, "You thought that too? What?"
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
no, so I'm super pumped for today's 5 companies. I feel like each one I'm like excited for a different reason. And I feel like there's
yeah,
different products for each person in your family. So I'm very excited to hear all about it.
yeah. And I was saying just before we went live, I was laughing because I visited like all 100 websites of these like different companies and everyone's doing a lot more like promoted posts. I'm like being followed by small businesses everywhere I go. Like I
Yeah.
open my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
But
this
then
ad, that ad, like
But on
so.
the other end too, I feel like I've seen a lot of companies or a lot of like people online or on Facebook and things are like, what small businesses can I like shop at? And I'm like putting our link in everything to make sure
Yeah,
these
that's
companies
true.
like get.
The people in this like mom's Facebook group I'm in are probably so annoyed of my self promotion because I'm like, look at the small businesses, shop local, and everyone's like, can you just shut up?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I will kick this off, and I will probably just randomly bring you up later.
Okay, sounds good. See you soon.
Yay! Okay,
Okay.
bye. Hello, everybody. Like we said, this is the special edition of the Cackle. The Cackle is EntryPoint's weekly interview series where we highlight small businesses, startups, and people that are making an impact on the community. And this week we have a holiday edition. So normally we're on Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m., but this week we're doing 9 a.m. every day. And we're meeting 5 local businesses every day of the week from our 2020 Midwest Shop Local Gift Guide, which features 100 plus products from 100 plus small businesses across the Midwest. So it's super exciting, really good place to go. You can go to entrypointmi.com and check out the guide. And it's just as easy as shopping on Amazon. You can click through the guide, click through things and have them shipped to you, have them shipped to somebody else. A lot of them are offering discounts this week for the holidays and then also free shipping and things. So it's something that's just really, really easy to just click through and purchase from small businesses. So today we're talking to the owners of Tactile Craftworks, Jenna C., Matthew's Bonfire Barbecue, The Butters Hygienics, and Constructive Eating. And I'm super excited. Also, we're doing this, for those of you that don't know, EntryPoint is a nonprofit research institution. And we this year have been doing a lot of research on the impact of COVID-19 on the small business community, the impact that small businesses have on their local economies. And I think a lot of people don't realize that 90% of businesses are small businesses and they employ 50% of the population. And so it really is like small businesses really make up the fabric of your local community. And it's really important this holiday season, especially when a lot of small businesses during a normal year make about 25% of their revenue during the month of December. It's really important to make sure that you're shopping local and helping small businesses get through this pandemic. So with Oh, and then put any comments, shout outs, and make sure you share this video, because if you don't buy something, somebody that you know might. So make sure you share this video so everybody that you know can check out all of the cool things. So first up, we have Anna from Tactile Craftworks. I'm going to zoom out just in case you have like things to show.
Awesome. I do have things to show. Hi, Emily. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And you are calling in from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yep, I am. We've got our little studio here. Usually I would be with my business partner, Sarah Heck. We started the company together, but we've been trying to work as remotely as possible because of COVID. So you've just got me today.
Yay. And then I also was like on your website this morning. I'd looked at it a while ago, but then I was like, you have like the most beautiful website. I was like,
that is all down to Sarah. So we had this, we have our background in theater. And so we used to do props. And so there's all this stuff that we've just had to kind of figure out. And so when Sarah was making our website, she was like kind of thinking like, well, if I was making like a theater website for like the most beautiful company ever, how would I do it? So we kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, it is so nice. So like, for those of you that don't know, they've got leather goods. And it's just like, you go to their website and it's like all warm and like everything is like so beautiful. Like I'm a big fan of leather goods generally. But yeah, like it's just like awesome. So how did you, I guess start with like, how did you get started and get the idea to like start the company?
So we started, we met each other, Sarah and I, working in a theater company in the prop shop. Props, for people who don't know, you make all the little detail things. So like all of the curtains on the windows and the stuff on the shelf, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And Sarah and I just hit it off right away. We knew that we worked really well together. Sarah had done some leather working when she was in college. And so we started doing some craft fairs. Sarah started that. And I was like, well, I went in on that. Yeah. The real moment that everything came together was we had this fun kind of hobby, little business, extra money sort of thing going on. And we knew that we wanted to make something bigger, but we weren't sure how to scale it. You know, hand tooling leather it's a long process. It's hard to like really make a living doing that. But we went to this local innovation museum, Discovery World, one night, and they have these make it labs that you can use. And they were showing us their laser cutters. And somebody was like, oh yeah, I just tried laser cutting something on leather the other day. And we were like, pfft. So we totally nerded out. That was the night that we had the idea for the Milwaukee Map Journal, which is our first product. Yeah. It's right there.
So awesome. And I feel like people too, like can, if you visit the website, what's your website?
www.tactilecraftworks.com.
If you visit the website, you can see like all of the different journals, and like I feel like you can't see the detail as well on this. Sorry, your platform. But it's like you can see like all the detail really well on the website, and there's like a ton of different locations and things like that, and they're like so beautiful. Like it seems like a great for like people who really like traveling, or like, you know, either for your own local community or for somewhere where you visited that you're like missing right now because nobody travels anywhere.
Well, that's kind of what we like about using the laser. We try to use the technology for things that we couldn't do without the technology. So the maps are really detailed, which is a kind of thing that you couldn't get just with hand tooling. But then we try to keep the aspects of the traditional leather work in the ways that those are best. So all of our edges are hand finished with beeswax. We do the stitching traditionally. We use a machine, but like that's all done, you know, by us at the machine. So we try to do by hand what works best by hand, and with the technology, the things that we couldn't do by hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then do you have other products too that are like really popular?
So I would say that our journals are the most popular, which yes, I encourage people to check out the website because you can see
the Detroit one. I like that. Detroit's I'm like, oh, hey.
I'm trying to, I've set up in a place that I thought the sun would be perfect and it keeps moving. So please forgive me.
Pretty soon you'll just like get the sun disappearance.
Yes.
Oh, my brother lives in Paris. It's like you stalked me prior to picking these things out.
I actually didn't. But yeah, so this is our passport wallet, which has cool. pockets for your cards and also pockets for your passports. The journal and the passport are our most popular items. We also have a clutch handbag.
Oh man.
We also have a passport. So this is for people who are big national parks fans like we are. There are these passports for your national parks that you can get, and we make covers for those.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
And we also have flasks because this seems to be the year that we could all use a drink.
I know, exactly. Except do you make them 4 times larger than that?
No,
Just
but
pour the entire bottle in. And then everyone can go to our gift guide after drinking out of the flask and buy everything while they're too.
Exactly.
That's so great. I guess so. I was thinking you and a couple of other guests that we've had on are like have sort of had these like career shifts where you've had things, and I think a lot of people are kind of going through career shifts. Like, what advice would you have for people who are kind of like during this time being like, oh man, like my job is not panning out so great, or like kind of underemployed and is thinking about starting a business?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to give advice now. I feel like usually people ask me this question and I have advice, but it feels like more high stakes. But I would say a couple of things. One is like have a plan B and a plan C. You know, like it's good to take risks and it's good to do things that are important to you. And also, you know, just have a backup plan. And I'd also say trust your gut. Go with what is important to you because that's ultimately what's going to pay off. We did a couple of things early on where we were like trying to cater to things that we thought that would, you know, other people would like. And we found that just doing what we wanted to do and what we felt strongly about ended up being the best way. And then also be willing to let go of ideas. I think that's one of the things that we had really good training in is theater, because after a show closes, all the stuff we worked on usually would just go into storage or sometimes go into the dumpster. And so we learned really early on that get an idea, try it. If the idea doesn't work, let it go. Try the next idea. You know, and so I would say that like trust your gut, have a backup plan, and be ready to pivot to a new idea when you find that one isn't working.
Yeah, I totally find that this is the year of that. Like people that's like the question, like everybody keeps asking, like reporters or like whatever, like, how have you pivoted in 2020? And I'm like, so like it's kind of just a state of constant maneuvering rather than, which is like something I think small business owners faced prior to the pandemic as well. Like, well, that's not working.
This year has felt a little bit more like our first 2 years in business in that, you know, the first 2 years in business, we had to hustle for every job, you know, every custom order, whether it was something that we thought we'd be good at or not, you know, we took everything. And the last few years, as we've become more established, we've been able to focus on just the things we do best. And I do feel like this year has been more about that hustle of like, go out and get all of the work, you know. We have an employee, Jenny, who's amazing. And a big priority for this year has been to be able to keep her. And so it's just like, well, go out there and find that work. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah, I think that is a lot of small business owners because you're like, your staff is more like your family, not like just like some large company that's like, who knows who those people are. And so you're kind of like, you know, I don't know,
absolutely
harder. So, but where can people go? And if they don't live in Wisconsin, like where can they go to buy things and can it be shipped and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. So check out our website, www.tactilecraftworks.com. You can also follow us on Instagram. We're at Tactile Craftworks. And if you sign up for our mailing list, you can get 15% off. So that'll pop up right on the front. So it'll give you a code for 15% off. Yeah. And also we're offering free shipping over $100 through the holidays. So check out the website again, www.tactilecraftworks.com, and you'll be able to zoom in and see all the perfect details. We've got more than 30 different cities. So you're sure to find one for someone that where you live or where someone that you love lives.
Hey, yay. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to go back to your website. It's so awesome. But
thank you, Emily.
Yeah. See you.
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure. Take care.
Bye. Yay! Bam. Their website, I'm serious, is like so beautiful. So everyone needs to go check that out. And next up we have Allie Rose Van Overbeck from Genesee.
Hey, how are you?
And you guys are the ones that have the ads that are stalking me everywhere I go. But I love it. I like, and I feel like those ads totally work. They're like slowly seeping in my brain where I'm like, at first I was like, oh, these glasses are great. And then I'm like, see them more and more. And I'm like, what could maybe I need sunglasses right now.
That's so funny.
Before we jump right in, I was going to just kind of say that Genesee is an eyewear company, and you make from recycled water bottles as a response to the impact of the Flint water crisis. Is that kind of how you guys started?
Yeah.
And for people that don't know, I was going to kind of explain what the Flint water crisis was, just because this is like a Midwest thing and people might not totally know. And so the Flint water crisis, Flint is in Michigan, and the Flint water crisis was a public health crisis that started in 2014 after the drinking water source for the city of Flint, Michigan was contaminated. In April 2014, Flint changed its water source from treated Detroit Water and Sewage Department water to the Flint River, and then officials failed to apply corrosion inhibitors to the water, and as a result, lead from aging pipes leached into the water supply, leading to extremely elevated levels of heavy metals in the water. So this is something that's been going on for a really long time. They eventually switched back to Detroit Water and Sewage Department, but it's been had a serious impact on the community because almost everybody was exposed. And so you guys, how did that kind of was the impetus for starting everything?
For sure. So I'm from Michigan, originally in Metro Detroit, and then ended up living and working in New York in the fashion industry for 10 years. I went to Parsons and then worked for some larger fast fashion companies, and my eyes were really open to how unsustainable the fashion industry is. So I took some time off and did what every young millennial woman does and went to India and did the whole eat, love, pray thing.
I was like, what are you going to say?
And I volunteered with an NGO there that retrains women who are in domestically abusive relationships with sewing skills. And I realized that is the kind of work that I wanted to be doing within fashion, was using fashion for good. And I flew back from India to Michigan on Christmas Day of 2015 to be with my family, with full intentions of breaking it to my mom that I was leaving my corporate well-paying job in New York, moving to India to work for this NGO. But when I landed here in Michigan, I was going to be here for 2 weeks, and I found out that was at the height of the water crisis, when it was all over national news. It was declared a national emergency, and state and federal aid was being deployed to the city. I don't know how to just sit around for 2 weeks, so I started volunteering in Flint. And as a Michigan native, it was absolutely devastating and shocking to me to see the effects of this man-made water crisis on the community. And not only was the community facing, a public health crisis, but on top of it, there was a surplus of plastic that was being brought into the city just to meet daily needs. I mean, and even now, people used water bottles for everything, bathing, flushing their toilets. So I was volunteering with the Red Cross and was an individual delivering cases of bottled water door to door, and was just shocked at this surplus of plastic in this community. I think we hear about the problem with plastic all the time now on the news, on social media. But for me, seeing it firsthand, it was really hard to look away. And as a designer, I don't know how to solve a water crisis, but I know how to make things, and I really care about sustainability, and I really care about people. And so my weird little brain went to, okay, how do we use this waste stream to create a product of purpose and need? And I just organically, for about a year, I went back to New York, went back to my corporate job, but just couldn't stop thinking about Flint every day, and was flying back and forth for probably a year, just still doing volunteer work in Flint and just trying to understand the community better and the needs here, and asking people, what does Flint actually need? And every single person I spoke with said jobs. So it was okay, how can we use this waste stream from this devastating water crisis to do something positive in the community, to be able to create jobs and opportunity for people who really need it and deserve it. And, in April of 2018, we launched Genesee, and we make all of our eyewear frames right here in Flint from recycled single-use water bottles. Our entire supply chain is within 180-mile radius of Flint. So we've really focused our sourcing and manufacturing on being able to support our local economy in Flint and Michigan, which we're really proud of. And I know earlier when you talked about the importance of small businesses, I was like, yes, like this is.
I know people get sick of it, but I'm like,
it's such a core part of having a vibrant economy. And I didn't know the statistics that 90% of businesses were small businesses, and they employ 50% of the population. Like, that is crazy. But for us, it's like we're a small business, and the support we've received throughout the pandemic has really allowed us to continue surviving. But also because we work so locally with other manufacturing partners and suppliers here in Michigan, when people make purchases from Genesee, like, you're not just supporting us and making sure our employees continue to have a job to come to, but it is like spread out, and we're able to support our optical lab, our manufacturing partners who sew our polishing bags, the company that makes our boxes here. So small businesses, it's so important. And it really is like such a focus on the community and being able to just make sure that our communities stay vibrant and that people continue to have jobs during this really difficult time.
And also, like, we've done like, an exhaustive amount of research on just like the impact of shopping local and things like that. And it's also like small businesses give over 4 times the amount to like local causes than large businesses do. Yeah. So like, I think a lot of people will see like, well, Amazon, like, they gave like $1 million to something. And it's like, comparatively to like all the small businesses, like, who, like, if everyone thinks back, like, who, when the school shut down, were making sure that like local kids who relied on school lunches had something to eat? It was not Amazon, I'll tell you that. It's local small businesses that are like, oh, we're a restaurant, we're shut down, we have capacity, we're going to make business, we're going to make meals and deliver them. So it's just like,
we as an organization from the start have been committed to supporting the Flint Kids Fund. We do like 1% of profits every year to the Flint Kids Fund, but we do fundraising efforts for them throughout the year. So on our website, if you use code FlintKids, the customer gets $10 off, and then $10 gets donated every year from that to the Flint Kids Fund. This year, we're able to donate close to $3,000 to the fund, which we like announce every like Giving Tuesday, which is like my favorite day of the year for business. And that fund specifically, it's part of the Community Foundation of Greater Flint, but they support children and families who are affected by the water crisis with lead poisoning, and throughout the pandemic have really also made sure that healthy food has been able to be provided to kids since they've not been in school with all of the shutdowns.
Yeah, that is like has continued to be a big problem.
We have an entire generation of kids here in Flint who were affected by the water crisis and lead poisoning. Lead's a neurotoxin. It never goes away. And so a way to combat that is through early intervention with education, as well as like healthy foods and nutrition. So that's what that fund really tries to do.
Yeah. And so talk a little bit about, since I've derailed you now onto like, we're all like, ha! Bring it back. So talk a little bit about your guys' products.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have one frame shape. It's called the Roper. It was democratically designed to really look good on a wide variety of faces as possible, to fit as many faces as possible. We do it in like prescription optical and readers, as well as we offer blue light filter glasses. And then we just launched our new fog-free lenses. So if you're wearing a mask and wearing glasses, you know how absolutely miserable it is with your glasses fogging up. So our fog-free lenses really combat that. And you can have the fog-free to like any of our prescription optical or readers. We also do beautiful sunglasses, which honestly look good on, I'll put a pair on for you, like everyone.
Oh, hey, look at this.
This is our
I
bottle.
wish I had a pair now, but I'm like sitting here looking like a fool without glasses on.
Favorite colors. This frame, it looks really dark on camera, but it's called bottle green. It's all black, but in the light it shines green. And then this is like a really beautiful green gradient lens with like a backside AR on the lenses. So all of our sun lenses are 100% UVA, UVB protective. We also offer polarized lenses.
Question. With the blue light glasses, is that a real thing?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
Like, I've still been like, is this a thing or is this like fake?
No, it's totally a thing. I mean, everyone comes at, I feel like, pseudoscience type things, but I work on a computer a ton, and even like my previous corporate job, I designed. So like I was on a computer all day, and I used to leave the office at the end of the day with like a headache and like really dry eyes. In blue light, it's actually, there's some studies showing it causes earlier macular degeneration, which is scary for an entire generation that is on devices 24/7. We don't really know the long-term effects of all the blue light we're being exposed to, but it actually is just like burning your eyes. It's the screens we're on are.
I say this as I have like a light pointed directly in my face while I'm staring at two different.
It depends what kind of light it is. There's different kinds of light, but like blue light specifically, it can also disrupt like your sleep cycle. So it can prevent your body from being able to produce melatonin. Melatonin is the natural hormone that allows us to sleep and fall asleep naturally. So too much exposure to blue light. I don't know if you've been like on your computer all day and like your phone, and then you're like struggling to go to sleep at night. And you feel just like really kind of like weird and stressed out and wired. A lot of that is like blue light, and it just disrupting like your natural like hormonal cycles. So I'm a big pusher on blue light. You can add it to any prescription glasses, but you can also get even if you don't need prescription glasses or readers, you can get non-prescription blue light glasses. Protect your eyes. It's really important. I have so many family members who are starting to experience like macular degeneration, and that's scary as we get older. If people don't know, macular degeneration is like losing your eyesight and like going blind slowly. So it's important to take care of our eyes.
Yeah, man, that's so interesting. Where can interesting in like a terrible way? Like I should probably just close my eyes.
And sunglasses are not just to like look cool. It's also for like eye health. Even in the winter, like we need to protect our eyes from sunlight. So make sure you're always getting lenses that are like UVA, UVB protective, and you can get lighter, like more medium tinted lenses in like winter time if you just don't want like the darkness, because it is gray in Michigan, but there's still light that filters through the clouds.
Yeah. And where do people go, and can they get shipping and like all of that?
You can shop everything online at Genesee.com. It's GENUSEE.com. We do free shipping on everything unless customers want shipping upgrades. They can select those options at checkout. We ship nationally. We do international shipping. Customers can kind of just select that for themselves. And anyone can use the code FlintKids at checkout, which gives you $10 off your first purchase, and then $10 will be donated to the Flint Kids Fund.
Yay! Cool. Well, thanks so much for joining. And
thank you for having me.
Soon. Okay. Bye.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too. Yay! I probably am gonna need to buy those glasses. I just like shut the computer and like Zoom. Cool. Next. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this. Next, we have Matthew from Matthew's Bonfire Barbecue. Hey! I'm going to zoom you out so I can see all of your tasty barbecue sauces. How are you?
I'm good.
I was so excited that you were joining, and I was stalking your website earlier and was so excited. I really like how you talk a lot about like just the feeling of a bonfire and like everybody, like how it's like really a place for people to congregate and like that feeling that people have. And that's kind of like how you sparked but tell me a little bit about your company.
Mike, my mission is to sell enough barbecue sauce. Someday I can have my own barbecue restaurant.
Oh, cool.
The product for the holidays and stuff is the holiday gift bags.
Yeah, I saw the holiday, and people can go on your website and see the holiday gift bag.
Yeah, you can go to www.bonfirebbq.com and
Okay.
we go shipping and free hand deliveries.
Local.
And in a burlap bag here we have a basin brush, sticker, one of the barbecue sauce, Lubricant Chipotle, and Carolina Gold. And we added the Christmas ornament because it's Christmas around the corner.
Yeah. Which one is your favorite?
My favorite is the blueberry chipotle. They're both spicy. Spicy guy.
Yeah, I also am spicy. I really love spicy barbecue sauce. That is definitely the best. And then do you guys do shipping on your website also?
Yes.
So people can, like, even if they're not, because you are in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan.
Yep.
And so if people aren't near Grosse Pointe, they can go on your website, which we'll put your website in the comments too, so that people can just click the link. And then they can see your product and get it shipped to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. And then so you're hoping to expand the business into a restaurant one day.
Yes.
And then how did you learn how to make like the product?
When
I was in college.
So this actually started where I went to college. I went to Western Carolina.
Okay.
In North Carolina, and I worked at a world-renowned barbecue restaurant called Halo Smokehouse.
Oh man, that sounds so good.
I like the food there, and I like the sauces there too. I've been making their sauces to start out with. And when I get home from college, I started making my own. And the general idea of it is from college.
Oh, that's so cool. And then do you how many like it must be a lot of work to like be producing so much barbecue sauce for everybody.
Yeah, we have a lot of sales going and a lot of shipping going. Today we have a lot more bonfire work to do, and it's a lot of fun. I like doing it, and it's really fun. It's my business. It's very cool.
Yeah. And what is your favorite barbecue food?
I like all the different kind of barbecue food, but my personal favorite is pulled pork and ribs.
Pulled pork is also my favorite. I love pulled pork, and I'm also like a really big cornbread fan, but I don't like when people put pulled pork on like sandwiches. I just like to eat pulled pork with cornbread and coleslaw.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so good.
Tacos.
And so all that with my mission, and I like to get back to my college and part of the UP program, and get back to Ruby's Rainbow, who does scholarships to other people with Down syndrome.
That's so great.
The learning disability that I have, and it's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, that's something we were talking about earlier with Allie Rose, who had the glasses. Just how local businesses and small businesses do such a good job of like giving back to their communities and supporting causes that are important to them and stuff. So I feel like that's so great, and I feel like that's like another example of like a small business who's like you're doing great and following a passion of yours, and then also like being able to like give back to causes that are important to you. And so that's really awesome.
and we also have 2 puppies and stuff too. My brother Joe, who does marketing,
Cool.
and I love my brother. I also love my mom too. And we have the Michigan State Product Center to help us out. And we have a co-packer as well, and they help us with the
Oh, cool. Yeah, that is like really important. It's really cool. I love the artwork on the bottles. Did you help design that, or how did you guys like come up with the labeling?
well, on besides me as the face of the business, I'm in the middle with like this between over the bonfire, and it's actually a caricature of myself and like well, I'm wearing
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even notice that you're like definitely totally matching.
Yeah.
I love that. And your mom was so funny. She had sent a little note in the beginning, and she was like, it was made. I can't even remember what joke she made, but I was like, definitely like, oh, we're such a fun family. You seem like you have a really cool family, and I really like your social media pages.
Thanks.
That's so cool. Yay. And then we'll put the website in the comments, but then tell people where they can go again. Just say your website one more time.
You can go to www.bonfirebbq.com.
Cool. And then and I saw it so easy when you click shop, there's the right in the corner is where the holiday package is, and it's like wrapped up so nicely. So that would be so perfect. And everybody needs some comfort food during the pandemic, I think.
Yep, great food, great burger sauce, and I like food. I like people, and I want to be a role model to other people too.
Yeah, you definitely are, because I feel like you're doing such a good job like following your passion and also supporting your community. So great. So yay. Well, thanks so much, Matthew, for joining. And I will be definitely ordering some barbecue sauce and gonna eat some pulled pork. Yay. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I definitely need some comfort food lately. So I'm like about to get some of that. And now that I've been reminded about how good pulled pork is, and I didn't get enough of that this summer, because normally I have like big get-togethers in the summer where you have like pulled pork and things like that. And now I'm like, next. Oh, hey, yo, Jerome. Hey, Jerome Stewart Nichols. I love that you have 3 names. Owner of the Butters Hygienics.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Very well. I'm still tired because I just woke up not too long ago, but I'm doing great.
Yay. Do you prefer it zoomed in or zoomed out?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Some people then like started showing things when I have them zoomed in. Whenever
some people like to get real up and close to the mug, you know.
I know.
So it's really just up to you, you know.
Yeah, I feel like this is good because I like seeing all the magic happen behind you too.
Yeah, we are actually like literally in the front workroom. This is where my assistant Zanita works and typically does a lot of our like advertisement and stuff.
Yeah, that's so good. Tell a little bit about your business, because I was like reading your like whole story on your website and stuff, and I was just like, I really like it. So tell your whole like why you decided to start the business and all that.
Okay. The Butters Hygienics Co. We make most what people know us by is body moisturizers. We specialize in making all sorts of handmade, 100% vegan. We say 100% bullshit free. Bath and body products that can help you make you feel your best. For me, I started the Butters simply because I needed something. A lot of like lotions are, I'm just gonna say trash, because they're mostly water, and I'm relatively dark, so I'm going to need something that's not just water, that's going to dry and leave me completely ashy. But I also need something that's not going to be greasy. And for me, that was very hard to find. You could just go use straight shea butter, but it's kind of thick. You can use coconut oil, but it's kind of like greasy feeling.
Yeah.
And from like a lot of experimenting, I came up with the Butters, which is our first product. It's our body moisturizer. We have that, and then we have a bunch of other scented body moisturizers. We have like the Pamplemousse Rose right here, and then the Champagne Problems, two of our most popular ones.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I definitely have noticed that like lotions seem to be like people are like, oh, this one smells so good. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like some crap that you're putting on. Like, what is going on? It just smells so strongly. And then it's just like, ugh. And then the Shea Butter, like the first time I ever got like a tub of Shea Butter, I was like, this is going to be the most moisturizing thing ever. And then I like opened it and I did not realize that those things come and they're solid. And like, I'm like, oh.
And it's such a high temperature to get it to melt. It has such a thick viscosity. So like it is a wonderful like fat. It's a wonderful vegetable.
But you gotta work for that.
You do.
I was like rubbing it into my legs like warm up.
Cocoa butter is even worse. It's hard as a rock. Just like straight up, you can chip it at room temperature. It's so hard. So, yeah.
It's so crazy. And I also really enjoy your videos on social media. Like I feel like you've got like a really good like way of like being like, and this product, and here's what we're doing, and like really involving people in your process. And it seems like it's like I was like, this is some wholesome, good small business stuff right now. I'm like a small business fangirl, so I'm like, we're in the back seeing how it's made.
Exactly. And I do take people in the back with me a lot, because it's a very fun sensory experience. We have a lot of like just ASMR type experiences, just working in the back room, a lot of like swishing, swirling, pouring. And then there's just a lot of very satisfying like jar filling and all sorts of like liquid physics that I personally enjoy, which is why I share them with people, because I know that I could make different content that people would be like, oh yeah, this is gonna go viral, but I just share what I like.
I know. Yeah, nobody needs more of that viral content lately. Like I've been scrolling through TikTok being like, these people need less viral content in their lives.
Yeah. I'd like more content that fills me with like a feeling of satisfaction or knowledge or something versus just being like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. And then so your lotion like is the most popular thing that people usually get, and then they can go to your website. What is your website?
GetTheButters.com.
Wait, say it again.
GetTheButters.com.
Oh, Get the Butters. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can get things shipped, or do you not do shipping?
Oh no, we ship worldwide. We're in stores across the globe. We the technically we're most known for our body moisturizers. The thing that we actually sell most is our personal lubricants, though. And those are what's mostly in stores across the world. We're in a lot of shops, including like 5 different shops in Europe, 8 different Canadian shops, and then about 15 American shops. So you have a good...
Wow. Thank you for your service to humanity. This is the guy.
So you have a good like selection of places where you can get it. And like Black Friday is still technically going on, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So there's a lot of places still offering like free shipping, or with Peep Show Toys and Spectrum Boutique, you can get jars free with your purchase because we partner with them. We don't really do a lot of Black Friday sales. So that's just the way that we get a lot of promotion out.
Yeah, you guys are really on point this year, because I feel like right now I'm like, oh yeah, like need some lotion because it's starting to get dry out. Like probably about 4 weeks ago, I was like all of a sudden like, why am I looking like old and haggard? I mean, like, beyond the pandemic, old and haggard, I was like, something's up. And so I feel like that's so good. And then personal lubricant, everybody knows there's nothing to do.
Exactly. And that's actually been a very exciting thing for us with the pandemic starting, because as soon as it started, our lube sales just went like,
I know. And now like all these people are like saying they're pregnant and like all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, but you have nothing to do.
No, that's so great. It's like a bright light in just an otherwise really shit year. People should be naming their children Jerome and things.
I think it's a good, strong name. Shows leadership. I agree. Yeah.
Yes. Either that, or if they don't choose Jerome, they should choose Mr. Butters.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
I do like that. Okay. I also really liked how you had kind of talked about like doing when you were getting out of college and like doing a career shift and deciding to like start the business. And I think like a lot of people are probably going to be in that world soon, because there's a lot of companies are laying people off or are not going to be returning to their same way of doing business as they were prior to the pandemic. Like, how did you like just decide like, oh, I'm going to start my own business and like hustle my way into a job, which is what I love about small businesses, BTW.
I kind of just took a chance because I intuitively understood that people's reaction to the butters was something different than anything I'd ever created before. Like, I went to Eastern Michigan University. I went for psych and human sexuality. My career path before this was a sex educator. I was a blogger for a long time.
Okay.
And so I'd been like very familiar with the industry and like the things that they offered, and was incredibly disappointed, along with being disappointed with, body butters and moisturizers and lotions and things.
Yeah.
So for me, I knew that there was a hole, and I knew that I would pay almost any amount to get the thing that I wanted. But I also knew that like there had to be something simpler, something cheaper that I could do. And I did that. And people's reaction to it was, oh, wow, you make that? Oh, wow. Can I have that? How much is that? Really? That's how much it costs? Oh my God. And that shock is not something that I'd ever really experienced with a lot of things. With a lot of things I created, they'd often be like, why'd you do that? Like beforehand. But this time there was no questions about why. It was like, give me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you body moisturizer. And you know what? Let's move on to scrubs. You know what? Let's move on to face care. Let's move on to mask. Oh, you need hair care? We got that too. So right now at this point, we're covering everything. We've got bath bombs. I actually just came up with this new tattoo oil, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah,
I'll need some of that. My tattoo's looking like, well, you can't. Is it even on that arm? What arm is it on? I don't know. I've got like good amount.
Yeah, I just got a neck tattoo, and it was sore. And
where did you get your neck tattoo at?
Urban Rituals Tattoo. They're the people who used to be at Liquid Swords. The tattooers who used to be at Liquid Swords in Ypsilanti. They separated out and started their own shop. That had been my tattoo artist for years, so I just went with him.
Yeah, this is like total. So you're in Ypsi, and I'm like really close to where you are. I've been trying to get in at Bright Idea for like ever. Yes. I'm like stalking them. And
that's what I had in mind for this, because I was like, oh, look at this like intricate line work. That seems to be right in their bag. And then she was like, you can come in 5 months. And I was like,
I know. Yeah. They told me a Bright Idea that I could come in like 5 months or something. And then I like sent an email to follow up, because I'm like super type A, and that is not a tattoo artist's way of doing things. Like they're just like, no, we'll contact you. Relax and sit down. And I'm like, okay, just kidding.
I'll just wait. It's fine.
Yeah, because I mean, I like to send an email.
But I mean, it's helpful.
For those of you that don't know, I'd emailed Jerome too many times prior to this, and he yelled at me.
That's also what we have assistants for. They're helpful.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so I just totally derailed our entire conversation. Back to tattoo oil. I think that's a really good idea. And I also really like that you do body scrubs because I think that's like doing like, I feel like that's so helpful in moisturizing is
Yes.
like actually exfoliating first and then moisturizing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that our skin is super durable. In fact, it's so durable that you can, in fact, scratch it and scrape it and rub it with soap and even rub it with a cloth and still, in many places, not get all the skin off. That's often why you'll like get out of the shower and rub your arm and there'll just be like rolls of skin coming off. Like if you're not a person who exfoliates, you might think you're dirty. You might think that's a problem, but it's really just like a protective measure. Because if you really had no extra skin, you'd constantly be scraping at your actual skin, damaging it all the time, which would make you look terrible very soon. But the extra layer of skin gives you something to like hold on to moisture, gives you something to hold on to fats and things. And then that can get scratched off as you're like rubbing against clothing or rubbing against like, you know, plastic things or whatnot throughout your day. But it's important to scrub. It's important also to get like maybe a chemical exfoliator. That's something a little different. That's something that we're doing now in our facial toners because it can loosen that extra skin without physically damaging it. The tattoo oil has a bit of the same principles. I designed it to be used like right after you get a tattoo and throughout the length of it. So what I found is that putting it on, it helps dissolve the excess ink that was on top of the skin without having to scrub or disturb it. It also helps prepare the skin before the tattoo, and I don't have any raising or scar tissue whatsoever. And that is super uncommon tattoos, and it's even more uncommon with Black people because we tend to get like raised flat scar tissue on our tattoos that is not properly taken care of a lot. And for that to happen on the neck is wild. When I touch my neck right now, we're like 2 weeks out and it feels like the skin that I had before. Which is wild.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's not damaging.
Exactly.
Your skin. Nobody likes a damaged skin tattoo like that.
No. And I can feel, like I can I have a lot of tattoos. I have probably like 20 tattoos. And on a lot of my older ones, I can literally just look and you can see that it's raised above my skin and it's a scar. It's not, you know, fully healed into the skin. It just never did. And it's never going to, because if you don't do it right the first time, it's just done. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that you're like solving these things that I feel like you're like seeing these like real problems that people are just like going out and getting like whatever these fancy like Bath and Body Works lotions are that are like just really smelly and then are not moisturizing at all and then actually like coming up with something high quality that I like stuff that works.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if it's unscented. If it works, I want that thing. That is one of the main things about the Butters products is that every single thing works. It does what it says it's going to do. It is designed for that reason. And if it didn't work, we would have taken it off the market or never brought it to the market in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yay. So people can go to getthebutters.com and check out all of the things. You've got all of your products on there. Get it shipped wherever you're at. A lot of places are offering free shipping. And I also liked how you had like staff pics of different things on your website and things like that. So you can kind of easily navigate through everything. And thank you so much for joining today. I'm so pumped.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It was very exciting. I was tired at the beginning and now I'm exhilarated. So now I can work through the rest of my day.
Yay! Okay. I will see you soon.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a great one.
You too. Bye. Yay! Get moisturized. Okay, next up is Carter Malcolm from Constructive Eating.
Good morning.
Yay! We're like switching gears from personal to I was like watching you down at the bottom and just being like, oh gosh, why are they talking about personal lubricant? And then we're going to talk about children's products.
No, I was trying to think of the angle of, Jerome is kind of making future customers for us. So, that's what's kind of like, go Jerome. I like it,
Yeah, exactly. You're like the pipeline of children that will be doing this. I'm super excited. So if anybody has kids that are like, I would say like 18 months old plus, knows that they like are so impossible to get to like sit down and eat their food and like not make a gigantic mess, and like they're always just grabbing things. This was like my morning this morning. I just was grabbing literally every second of my day. So, and you guys have a really awesome product. So tell me a little bit about like why you started your business and like what the product is.
Sure. So we started our company about 15 years ago, and the business is owned by my wife and I. We have 3 kids, and when our kids were very young, as people with young children know, life can be pretty hectic. And so for us in particular, we would, be dealing with nosebleeds and kids who are not falling asleep and really keeping us up all throughout the night. And so one night, my wife came back to bed after dealing with an issue, and I was dealing with another one. And she just said, "Hey, you know what? There should be a fork that's shaped like a forklift so that our middle child could play with his Cheerios." And I said, "That's great. I think I'm going to go back to sleep." But the idea kind of percolated in my head, and by the morning, we had thought of a couple other utensils and a couple of applications that we thought would work really well. And constructive eating was born from that. And so our kids were really our inspiration for it. And as parents, we've really all along tried to focus on building products for parents and kids both. And so we look to engage kids at the table, build their motor skills, free parents like yourself up, to eat their own meals sometimes while their kids are now independent with their mealtime. And that's kind of what the focus of our business has been about.
Yay. I just realized I should bring Molly on. 1, 2, 3, go. I was giving her like the 1, 2, 3 heads up, like you're about to be live on the internet and go. Molly, you're also muted, Molly.
Got it. Okay. 2020 problems. No, and it's so funny because as you were talking, I was looking at your website and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'd gotten this as a gift for our now 4-year-old, but a couple of years ago, I'm like, I'm pretty sure we have your spoon at our house, which we love. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Molly, we both have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Yeah, we both have, so we each have 2 boys. So we definitely know the eating, being crazy, and loving construction type.
Yeah.
Do you have one nearby that you can hold up so people can?
Sure. Yeah. So these are kind of our first set of products. I have to try to make sure I get it so you can see them in the picture. But this is I think the spoon that I put it out of the picture. But this is the spoon that Molly was mentioning. And then we have a fork that's shaped like a forklift, and then a pusher that helps kind of substitute for a finger when you're trying to get things onto your spoon or fork. And that really helps kids with their motor skills early on. So those were our first 3.
The plate too that you
have. I've got a plate. I'll try to do a better job holding it up because the first time I kind of bounced out of the screen. But this is our companion plate. And it has some features that work with utensils. So there's actually kind of everything's reversed here. But so there's a ramp here that you can push things up, and it goes and drops right down onto the spoon in there. So I'll try to kind of hold the spoon up this way. So if you had rice or something like that, it's really good for gathering for little kids, and then they can be effective with getting it onto their spoon because it'll drop right down on top of it.
Yeah, I like that. I was also just realizing that I'd never done that solo thing before, and I was like, what if I can't get him off of here and he has to just take it?
I'll carry it the rest of the way. Yeah.
I was like, what? Carter's show now. Yeah.
No, the plate is really nice.
Pushes onto the.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, and in our newest products this year, I don't know if you've seen these, but these are dinosaur themed. So one of the things we try to do is we try to make things that are kind of true to life shaped so that the kids can really engage with them. We have 2 different materials. So we mold one material onto another. Everything's dishwasher safe, microwave safe. But these are really kind of, I don't know if you can see them flexing, but they're really soft materials. So it has a nice tactile feel. We try to do a lot with details. So, the bottom of our utensils, we actually have little footprints that are true to the actual dinosaur. So this guy's the Ankylosaurus. So if you're like stomping through your mashed potatoes, you can make some footprints.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. I like that. That's like
he had
things that's like
construction equipment
at our house. Yeah.
Yes, I feel like those are very much staples in every, especially boys' homes.
Yeah, I think some of my favorite emails and comments I've gotten from parents are they'll send us pictures sometimes of kids who like their utensils so much that they won't give them up. So they eat with them and then they send us pictures of them and they're like sleeping with them as they're like stuffed
Oh,
animal. They're probably not as soft, but it's just I like that we're able to engage the kids that much and really make something that's both functional and fun for them.
Yeah, that is really cool. I like that. That is, I think too, it'd be hard to be like, let me wash that really quick before you just like run out and play with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And maybe you can juggle. You give them one utensil, you wash the other ones. But yeah, it's a battle. I think sometimes getting them out of the kids' hands, which we're very appreciative of. We like our little fans as far as that goes.
Yeah.
well, and I think it's helpful, even just like I love the motor skills thing, but then also just having your kids get excited about eating because I don't know, I know Emily's 4-year-old's like opposite of mine, but my oldest son is like a bird eater and like doesn't eat and is very picky. And so it's like I need the things that get him excited to eat his food. So then those are the perfect things for that.
That's a real struggle. Yeah, my daughter, when she was really little, I remember my wife used to, just chase her around the house with yogurt and just try to any chance you could, sneak something in there, you could like surprise her, and she'd just be going about her day like, get out of my way with that food. But my wife would be diligent and continue to feed her, 5 calories at a time throughout the day. So she turned out okay. She did a good job.
5 calories at a time. That is so true. Sometimes it's just like, can you just like, do you live on air? Like, how? Then you just end up like chopping up 10, like every single thing inside my refrigerator into like tiny pieces, and then they still won't eat it, and it all ends up on the floor. And then I have to vacuum it up later. I'm like, oh Lord. But
dogs are great for that. So
I know. Yeah. We downer of the whole podcast. We just had to put our dog to sleep a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
I know, it's sad. Watch me just start crying, and everyone would be like, "This is your turn." But yeah, I was like, and then I realized, like, who are these people that don't have dogs and are just constantly cleaning up after their kids? It's like a nightmare.
I know. I realized I have a friend who has 4 kids and she's like constantly sweeping after meals. And I'm like, oh, that's a thing just because we have a golden retriever. And he just scoops up everything as soon as it hits the floor. So that is nice.
Sometimes it doesn't even get all the way down there. It's like on the way and just gets sniped right out of the air,
Yeah.
I feel like your plate is good too because they're kind of like incentivized to keep it in the plate and like keep it as part of the game. And like there's a side walls to the place.
Yeah, one of the key things that we kind of done, especially with the utensils, and this was intentional for us, is, I'm sorry, this is gonna be another trying to get it onto the camera without being silly.
I'll do the thing again.
Is we've kind of made the functional aspects of the utensils, and the same thing where like the dinosaurs, where if they're going to be fighting, this is kind of like the tail implement that you would fend off the other guys with. But the idea is they animate the utensils, and they end up, while they're playing with them, getting the food onto the actual implement of the utensil. And so to keep playing, they eat. So it's a nice way to get that incentive going and to help the kids build confidence and build those motor skills along the way.
Yeah, that is that's smart. That's clever. I like that. Yay. Okay, so what is your website that people can go to for?
It's just www.constructiveeating.com. So it's just the name of the business, and you'll find us there.
Awesome. Yeah. And then you do shipping?
We do. Yeah. We have free shipping over everything over $28, which is pretty much any bundle. If you're getting a set of utensils and a plate, will qualify for that. We also have a store locator on there because we're very tied into specialty retailers, kitchen stores, gift across the country. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yay.
And for the free shipping, do they need a code for that or no?
They don't. No.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Yay. So everyone can go to constructiveeating.com and pick up a plate for the 2 to 10-year-old in your life who's probably making their parents Insane. Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, Carter, for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for having everybody on today. You guys had a great show and really did a wonderful job. And I love the diversity of all the companies that you guys represented today. Nice work.
Yay, thanks. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, on that note, I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, guys.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, I'm still cracking up about when Carter was saying like Jerome's products was going to create his future customers. So
Jerome, do you want to respond to that?
Sure. I mean, honestly, I'm okay with that. I know for certain I've created a few customers for our friend there.
That was cracking me up. That was I really like embracing that. I was like, is this going to be an awkward transition? But no, that was the perfect transition.
That was perfect.
It's wholesome.
Yeah.
So great. Okay.
Maybe Jerome and I will have a different business together here. We'll work something out.
I can funnel the business on over.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'll talk to you both later. Okay, cool. And then tomorrow, everybody can zoom on in at 9 a.m. We have 5 more businesses. Pedal Cell, which is really cool. I feel like this is like the perfect teenager college student type gift. Scotch Children's Store, Bags to Butterflies, Pure Orchid Aesthetics, and Rebel Nell.
Yay!
Rebel Nell is on our board too, so we'll have to be like on our best behavior. Yeah, so that's awesome. But anyway, cool. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Okay, see you.
Bye.